Ultrapoi from Crispy Clowns. You've seen them on Instagram, I've seen them on Instagram, and now I'm going to give you my review of them. Drex here from DrexFactor.com, and today we are talking about these Monkey Fist Poi from Crispy Clowns, so buckle on in. Before we dive in, of course, I just want to give a shout out to the friends of the channel. Big thanks to Dark Monk, Flow Toys, Pyroterra Light Toys, LMF Props, Spinballs, and Ultrapoi for helping to make videos on this channel possible. You can learn more about all these awesome companies and the work that they're doing to support flow artists like yourself by checking out the links that I've got down in the description of this video. So I'm going to try and keep to my usual format for reviewing LED Poi and see how close it gets us to doing a complete review of these. Basically, I'm going to drill down the features, ease of use, because battery life isn't a thing here. I'm going to talk about burn time, and finally talk about durability and price before I give you 3 things that I like and 3 things I could probably use some work on these. So these, of course, are the 3-inch monkey fist heads from Crispy Clowns. They are a 3-byte Kevlar knot with the head directly connected onto 3/8-inch technora tether. My length here I think is 24 inches total. And then for my handle, I've got some propbox approved knobs here. Those kind of 3D printed knobs that are a similar form factor to PX3 knobs as well as palm grips. Now, part of what makes these interesting is the core of the monkey fist heads, namely that instead of it just being a wood block or something like that, which I think some other manufacturers do that, it is instead a little metal piece that is actually packed with an absorbent material, which might be cotton, question mark. You can, of course, also get LED knobs for these, but that is something that they usually charge separate for. So in terms of ease of use, they are, of course, fire poi. If you don't know how to use them, I have a video for that I'll link to up in the cards here on YouTube and everything. But I think one asterisk I'd like to put in here is I don't know if Lance and the rest of the Crispy Clowns crowd have this discussion with people. I think he did say it to me, but basically, whenever you dip these, you want to make sure that the technora itself does not get any fuel on it. So you probably want to only dip to like the last 1/4 inch of the head and just leave it at that. So burn time. Yeah, that absorbent head has some very, very interesting qualities to it. So when Lance first hooked me up with these at Fire Drums, he made an offhand comment about them taking 10 minutes to burn. Then I took them out for their virgin burn on the fire field, and I was out there for a long, long time. And it wasn't until a friend took some video of me that night that I finally realized that I was getting burn times between 8.5 to 9 minutes long. I thought that Lance was messing with me, and it turned out he wasn't. Which I think goes back to the absorbent material inside the head and everything, which also means that you are likely to be dealing with much heavier heads when they're dipped than you normally would with a set of monkey fists. Now, the burn time has definitely diminished since then. The last burn I did with these lasted for just under 6 minutes. I don't know if there's a plateau where it kind of like evens out and the burn time becomes a lot more predictable and everything, but that's where it is right now, and that's probably after like maybe a half a dozen 9 burns tops. So yeah, there's a little bit of a curve where it starts out with a lot of burn time and then works its way down a little bit, and we will see where the kind of basement of that is. So in talking about durability, there is an elephant in the room, and that's the connection directly between the technora and the head. So Cliff's Notes for those of you all that don't know this. Technora may be heat resistant, but it still reacts to the chemical process of combustion, and that weakens it over time. Now, these are still too new for it to happen, but I have seen sets of fire poi that have this arrangement where the technora is directly connected to the head. The technora fails. I saw it happen at Flame Festival, I think last year, where a person went out juggling with their poi and the head just came clean off as they were doing it. So, highly recommended that you swap out your tethers at least every year if possible. And watch out for that. Like, give it a good tug before you go to dip it, yeah? And of course, as we already put a bookmark in, make sure that you never directly dip the technora tether, because that'll light the tether on fire and that will make that problem even more likely to happen. So you can pick up 3-inch monkey fist poi from Crispy Clowns, their Etsy shop, which I'll leave a link to down in the description, for $115 a pair. If you want to upgrade to a 1/4-inch tether, it'll wind up running you $125. You can also decide to upgrade your handles to LED handles, and it's apparently another $35 on top of all that. But yeah, that's what you're looking at to get into a pair of these. So now let's talk 3 things that I like and 3 things that could use some work on these. So things that I like. As an experienced poi spinner, magically getting a 10-minute burn with white gas was something I was not expecting, and was kind of nice actually, especially because the particular incident where I first lit these up involved one of the DJs at Fire Drums putting on a track that I happened to be waiting for. So getting twice the burn time that I was used to out of that arrangement was really nice. Number 2, the tethers feel really good. I am slowly becoming more of a convert to thicker tethers. I don't know if I'm going to go 1/4-inch anytime soon, but the 3/8-inch tethers feel really good, and it's kind of cool that that's the default option with these guys. Definitely, you know, folks that are more into the poi juggling side of things will find that kind of the default setup with these is probably a really good fit. And finally, I have to say that, you know, picking these up at a festival, Lance and the rest of the Crispy Clowns crowd, try saying that 10 times fast, really put these together very, very quickly for me. Their manufacturing process was really slick and fast, and I appreciated the fact that when he saw me walking past, he kind of pulled me aside and he's like, "Hey, they're ready for you," to make sure that I got a hold of them rather than just kind of waiting for me to come back whenever it would come back. Okay, so now let's talk 3 areas of improvement. So I know that I put it as one of the positive features that these heads stay lit forever, but I'm also going to put it as one of the negative things, and here's why. So those of you who are lighting up for the first time ever don't want a 10-minute burn time. You probably don't want a 5-minute burn time. So if you're lighting up with a set for the first time that's going to keep you out there forever and a day, you're almost certainly going to have to be put out, and there's going to be so much fuel wasted in the process of that. I don't know whether they can make it an option to go with the super absorbent heads versus not, but basically, if this is your first set of poi and you're a beginner, I think this might be a little bit more than you can handle. Number 2, so as much as I like the tethers, the way they're kind of fixed inside of the propbox approved handles and everything, it doesn't feel like that professional a product to me. You know, if there were a way to connect these into the handles that wasn't like a big massive tape on a knot and everything, I think it'd just make it look a little bit more professional and slick a product. Not a deal breaker by any means, but sometimes it's the little things that count, you know? And finally, purely as a safety thing, I wish it were an option that you could get 3 inches of hardware that is chained between the heads and the tethers, simply because having worked with technora tethers before that do have those 3 inches of hardware, that dramatically increases the lifespan of the tethers. And that's not necessarily the option that everybody wants, but as kind of like a safety thing and as a recommendation for somebody, if it's, say, your first set of poi that have technora tethers, I think that'd be a really good option to have. Cool, so that's what I thought of my Crispy Clowns Fire Poi. Thanks so much to Lance and the rest of the crew for hooking me up here. What are your favorite set of Fire Poi? Let me know down in the comments. Do you own a set of Crispy Clowns Fire Poi? What do you think of them? I would love to know. If you dug this video and you would like to see more like it in the future, please make sure to hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. YouTube is changing its algorithm constantly, and the only way that you can guarantee that you see my videos when they get posted is to hit that notification bell. So please do it. Finally, a huge thank you to all of my wonderful supporters on Patreon. They are the reason that this video and all the videos on my channel exist. If you would like to sign up to support the work that I do, please head on over to patreon.com/DrexFactorPoi and sign up. Not only do you get awesome perks like early access to my videos and, of course, a say in the content that I produce on my channel, you get also some awesome exclusive content too. So go and check that out, and thank you so much in advance.